It's judgment day for Mahmoud Uthman, aka Abu Qatada, at the State Security Court in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. 11 months on from his one-way trip back here from Britain, a deportation he'd fought for a decade, he's brought in by armed convoy for his terror trial verdict. In strides the Bethlehem-born, hate-preaching, hardline Salafist cleric, looking pretty relaxed. His teachings reportedly influenced numerous jihadis, from 9/11 ringleader Muhammad Atta to Richard Reed, the British shoe bomber. Abu Qatada has been branded an Al-Qaeda spiritual leader, recruiter, financier, a dangerous man. But the civilian judges in this quasi-military court weren't trying him for all that, but on charges of terrorist conspiracy here more than a decade ago. With what's happening now in next-door Iraq, there have been fears that a guilty verdict could stir trouble. The judge sums up the evidence, then says it doesn't add up to a row of beans. Not guilty. Abu Qatada's long legal fight against extradition cost British taxpayers a fortune. Now he's been acquitted on the very charges for which he was sentenced to death in absentia 15 years ago. You could be forgiven for asking what's going on. Qatada, his chip-off-the-old-block son by beard and vocation, led the family hug-in. But Abu Qatada isn't off the hook yet. The verdict in the second terrorist conspiracy case was delayed for 2 months. As his father was led away, Qatada told me he was hopeful his father would soon be free. How are you feeling about this? You're feeling good? Outside, Abu Qatada's lawyer, who's alleged entrapment of his client by state security, told journalists justice had been done. But not everyone's so sure it's about justice. So then, what is going on?
Abu Qatada not a normal person. He is very important person for the jihadists, so the government take that in concern. So politically, I do believe that they have to take that in concern.
The government declined repeated requests to respond to the allegation that the acquittal was politically motivated. They also declined our requests to visit a restive southern town called Ma'an, where the black flag of jihad is flying. We've obtained this footage from a pro-ISIS protest filmed in this Jordan's Salafist Central yesterday afternoon. No wonder the government's worried here. Yesterday morning, security forces entered the town and exchanged fire with locals. This has gone unreported here. Our request to go to Man was turned down by the government. But a leading Salafist cleric from Man came north to meet us. He too believes that paranoia over the jihadi threat played a key role in Abu Qatada's acquittal.
There is no doubt that political considerations affected the judicial decision, but honestly, the Palestinian Abu Qatada is innocent of these charges.
Abu Sayyaf insists that the Kingdom of Jordan is not threatened either by the all-powerful ISIS or the Al-Qaeda-linked Jabhat al-Nusra.
Fears here are unfounded. It is not in the interest of the Islamic State of Iraq and al-Sham or the Nusra Front to extend the battlefield to Jordan. That's out of the question and doesn't even exist in their lexicon.
But in Jordan, they're not so sure. These jihadi videos have been circulating here. A Jordanian child soldier declares he's coming to slaughter the king and rips up his passport. A second Jordanian calls the king a tyrant, a slave of the British. We're coming to slaughter you, he says. I swear on my suicide belt, before he tears up his passport too. King Abdullah of Jordan has released a royal video depicting him training with special forces. The message to would-be jihadi invaders: we're tough, I'm in charge, don't mess with us. But the jihadi Salafist threat is messing with heads here. The threat's real. Jordan, very much part of the jihadi project. If today's acquittal of Abu Qatada is politically motivated, it is aimed at placating the enemy within, and helping to douse flames here before the kingdom's engulfed. Jonathan Miller, Channel 4 News, Amman.